Hello dear children, we are going to start here new chapter, My Dearest Lizzy. So this chapter beta, it is based on the theme of our neighbor and community. So how one should live with the neighbors and in the community, that we come to know from this chapter, My Dearest Lizzy. Actually this chapter is taken from Jane Austen's famous novel Pride and Prejudice, which is about the spirited Bennet family. And in this chapter, Mrs. Bennet, she was obsessed with finding suitable husband for all her 5 daughters. Mrs. Bennet, she has 5 daughters and she wanted to marry all her daughters in a good family. Okay, so when a wealthy young man, Charles Bingley, he came near their house, Mrs. Bennet, she became overjoyed. And Mrs. Bennet's eldest daughter, Jane succeeds in impressing Mr. Bingley, and she was invited in his place at Netherfield. When she went there she fell ill, and then she sent a letter to her family. When she sent the letter, how her the second one of the elder sister, she approached the eldest sister and how she took care of her sister, that all we are going to discuss here. So this famous novel Pride and Prejudice, it is written by Jane Austen, who was an English novelist, and she was one of the most known writers in English literature. So Jane Austen, she was educated at home and she lived a secluded life. Secluded means alone life. And then she wrote her novels and published her work anonymously. Anonymously means the work that is written by an unknown person. So she did not show her identity about her work. She wrote about quiet life of small English towns and villages. So most of her work, it is based on the small English towns and villages where the life is very quiet. So let us start the chapter. Jane had not been gone long before it rained hard. Her sisters were uneasy for her, but her mother was delighted. The rain continued the whole evening without intermission. Jane certainly could not come back. So in the very beginning, what was there? Jane, she was started from her home with Mr. Bingley, and she had not gone so long, okay, that it started raining heavily, and the sisters, they were very worried about her, but mother was quite happy because daughter was there to impress Mr. Bingley. This was a lucky idea of mine indeed, said Mrs. Bennet more than once. So this idea, what this idea is there, sending her daughter with Mr. Bingley, and then she was proud of the idea that she wanted to take the credit of making it rain all over her. Till the next morning, however, she was not aware of all the felicity of her contrivance. Breakfast was scarcely over when a servant from Netherfield brought the following note for Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, she is the second daughter of Mrs. Bennet here. Jane was the eldest and second one daughter is Elizabeth. So when they were having a meal, suddenly a servant from Netherfield came their home and he brought a note for Elizabeth. What is written there? I find myself very unwell this morning, which I suppose is to be imputed to my getting wet through yesterday. So in this note, she wrote about her condition. She was unwell and this all happened because of getting wet. She got drenched in the rain. My kind friends will not hear of my returning till I am better. They insist also on my seeing Mr. Jones. Therefore, do not be alarmed if you should not hear of having his been to me, and expecting accepting a sore throat and headache, and there is not much the matter with me, yours. So this letter was sent by Jane to Elizabeth, where she wrote about her illness, and then she told about what symptoms of illness she was having. Well, my dear, said Mr. Bennet, when Elizabeth had read the note aloud, if your daughter should have a dangerous fit of illness, if she should die, it would be a comfort to know that it was all in pursuit of Mr. Bingley and under your orders. Who's under order? He is talking about Mrs. Bennet here. Mr. Bennet told his wife sarcastically that if Jane had a dangerous fit of illness and if she should die, Miss Bennet should derive comfort from the fact that it was all because she tried her best to make Mr. Bingley fall in love with Jane, and that's why it is written there, under your order. Oh, I am not afraid of her dying. People do not die of little trifling colds. She will be taken good care of as long as she stays there. It is all very well. I would go and see her if I could have the carriage here. So Mrs. Bennet, she answered her husband that she was not afraid of her dying, and she also told that nobody would die of mere cold here, and moreover she was taken a good care of in the family of Bingleys, and she showed her desire to visit, but she was without any carriage to go to Mr. Bingley.